Hello and welcome in Deep Learning Projects with JavaScript by Pact Publishing. My name is Kuba Konchik, and before we get into the details of this course, let me tell you why I'm involved in this project. So I've been programming since 1995, and I've been doing all sorts of different programming since then, and I really enjoyed doing that. And for a really long time, this was only a hobby for me. And since around 2006, I started to build a pretty complex Python systems, and also a lot of web applications along the way with plenty of JavaScript. And my first encounter with machine learning was when I've tried to help one of the startups that I was working with. I've tried to actually use machine learning methods to predict the real estate prices. And I really failed miserably. I couldn't actually make it work, and I was really frustrated with the whole machine learning toolset. A long time after that, I've started to actually doing a lot of research in my own time and give myself a lot of time to actually discover how it works and what this stuff is all about. So after I got my aha moments, I've decided that I have to share that with machine learning beginners, especially with developers and people basically that are building software. So let's have a look at the course. So we have 6 sections, and in each section, apart from the first one, I want to give you a slice of what you can actually do with JavaScript and deep learning methods. And my goal here is to give you a fast results quick. I want you to see the results in each section. In the first section, we'll start with just answering the question, okay, why bother with JavaScript in deep learning? What kind of possibilities can we actually have when we have this kind of a tool set, available for us? And also we will talk about how to get started with JavaScript and deep learning methods really quickly. I'll show you that you don't have to use NPM or Node.js, which are quite popular JavaScript package manager and framework, to actually use this stuff. And most examples out there actually are using those frameworks. So we'll focus on the client-side JavaScript in the whole of the course, and basically I will show you how you can get started quickly. Then in section 2, we'll start to do a sentiment analysis on a text. And this simply means that we tried to figure out what kind of emotion do we have in a specific text. And you will learn about the basics of just learning a model that it has been already trained, and you can just get it and use it any other library pretty much. So this is where we get started. Then we will switch to a little bit more challenging data set, which is images. So we'll try to detect those same emotions in the photos. And there's plenty of challenges when we're doing that. We'll be using quite a bit of machinery here to actually achieve this goal. Then in section 4, we'll switch another time into a totally different data set with totally different set of challenges. And this is in section 4, and we'll start to try to detect a emotion in the actual audio samples. This is challenging when it comes to doing that with JavaScript for a few reasons which you will learn there. And in section 5, we'll learn how to do the training using transfer learning. And this is the technique that will allow us to improve our pre-trained models with the audio samples that we've chosen, and not only with audio samples in the new data set a little bit. So this is a very important skill, because with this you don't have to spend time of training your own model, because it takes a lot of time. So with transfer learning, it's possible that you can get there quicker. And then we'll end with section 6, and we'll actually do the actual training of model from scratch. With those 3 last section, we'll specifically focus on the audio. So let's talk about some of the prerequisites. So the first big prerequisite for this course is that you have to have a working client-side JavaScript knowledge. So this is the biggest prerequisite for this course. Specifically, you have to know how the asynchronous code works. By asynchronous, I mean the code that using async await, because we'll use it all the time. The JavaScript library that we're using from our machine learning and deep learning task will use this asynchronous code all the time. And also you need to have some of the basic machine learning knowledge. Specifically, I want to cover how you actually train models, how it works. If you don't know how it works, please learn that before you get started, because we won't have the time to actually get to the basics of machine learning. Then one of the prerequisites, which is kind of weird for this type of course, is basic Python knowledge. And this is simply because we have those changes with audio samples and working with JavaScript, starting with section 4. And this is simply because I couldn't find a good enough JavaScript tool to actually extract the characteristics of audio for our purposes. So I had to actually use a very small Python script to do that. And this is a very small but important step. To be honest with you, since you know JavaScript, or if you know the JavaScript, you'll be able to understand the code. This is really not a very difficult task, but just to make sure that we are on the same page, I put it there as prerequisite. The last prerequisite is just ability to run simple commands in terminal. This is must because we'll be doing those very simple commands. In some of the sections, we'll need to run a small HTTP server in Python, which is basically just one line command, but you still have to know how to open the terminal, how to put in the command, and pretty much how to run it. So without further information, I think we covered all the basics, all the requirements, and let's get started. I'm really excited about that. So I will see you in a course.